All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
G'day guys, Chaos Chronicles. What is crack-a-lackin' Chaos Crew? Alright, so let's talk about prison tattoos. We'll have a chat about prison tattoos. So, alright, as you guys know, I think I still have that beast on my desk. I do. Alright, as you guys know, I made this guy in another video, and this is basically exactly what they use to tattoo with. Although there are many different variations, they are pretty simple to make, and this is basically what they look like. And so basically, I'll be straight up. I will say, if you go to prison, don't get a prison tattoo. Like, I was very lucky in that I used to make my own tattoo guns. I done jail with a guy that was in prison in California, and but he was a dude, man. So he actually got caught. He meant to come to Australia, but he was only bringing drugs here to drop off, and he would never have been allowed here because he'd been to prison, but he got caught on the boat and rah, rah, rah. But anyway, he was a bit of a dude, and he taught me how to make a tattoo gun, and then he showed me all these cool things how to make. He showed me how to make. He called it a bumblebee, right? So basically, the only problem we have with these tattoo guns is holding the ink in the barrel, right? And so I was telling him about this, and then he showed me the most ingenious idea for a tattoo gun. So see this bit here, right? That bit there is literally the inside of that pen, and then I fasten the needle to the end of that there, as you can see. But yeah, basically I'll take it out so I can show you. But he said, and back then we were allowed to smoke, and he said, look, he goes, you've had the answer right in front of you the whole time. He goes, hold that tight like that. I held it tight. He put a match under it, and he goes, now pull it slowly. And I pulled it slowly, right? And it made, obviously, because of the heat, it made it go into like a point. He goes, cut that in the middle, and then cut them off about that long, and he called them bumblebees. And you push that down the end of the other part of the gun, and then that holds the ink. So you push that in there, the needle goes through it, but it's a barrel that holds the ink. So ingenious and so simple, and that made tattooing heaps easier after that. I've done quite a few tattoos in jail. I do have quite a few tattoos. I do have some on my legs that I won't be able to show you. I've got my prison gang tattoo there, and then I've got most of this arm is actually jail tattoos. So we've got some cards there, but they're all aces, but the ace is supposed to be anarchy signs, but you can't really see that. Some knuckle busters, a heart with a cross through it. That's supposed to be Melbourne with a sign pointing to it. What else do I got on there? Oh yeah, this one's a cool one. I got some bullets with wings on them, and when I got them, the dude's like, why do you want bullets with wings on them? My brother goes, because he's always letting them fly. I go, exactly. And yeah, so I ended up getting that tattooed on me. And yeah, I've got plenty of tattoos on me from prison. Basically, most jail tattoos, they're going to be like black and grey wash tattoos. Some people do colors, but it's much harder to get the colors you need because you can't use just normal pen ink. So we basically make ink our own. So there's a million ways you can do it. All the old school beds at Port Phillip are metal, and you can kind of get under the bed, hence why they say I'll put you under the bed. And so also you can get the metal trays off the meals, and then so you make a candle. I must make a video on how easy it is to make a candle. So I've actually got a packet of noodles here just so I can show you guys. So Mega Ring noodles, ramen, whatever you want to call them. These are big commodity in prison. I've literally seen someone get stabbed over one of these. And so the oil in this, so they all come with these little sachets in there. And this oil in here, all we have to do, right? I'll tell you exactly how to make it. We get at Port Phillip, we have bottles, so like small 600 ml drink soft drink bottles, but also a deodorant lid bottle is good too. And then so what you do is you get three matches, and then you wrap them matches in toilet paper, and then you make sure there's a little bit. You wrap them in toilet paper, and then you wrap them in foil. You put a pin straight through the bottom of the lid. You put the matches straight down over the pin. You fill it up with oil. Pour a bit of oil on the top of the wick. Bada bing, bada boom. You got a candle. Now that will burn for literally hours. Like that will burn for literally hours. And this is exactly how we make ink. So we make it from soot. So either sit it up and you sit something underneath it so it's sitting, about maybe 2 centimeters away from the steel. And then obviously all the soot that comes off the flame builds up. And if you do it there for hours, like it literally makes like a big mound of it. It's disgusting, I know. And then the way I mix it in with breath mouthwash. And apparently that kills all the germs. I don't even know if it does, but it makes my brain feel like it does. So I do that. And then I also add a tiny bit of toothpaste just to thicken it up a bit. But I'm telling you, that ink there is just as good as like Uniball. So the screws have Uniballs, they're called, which are those, like, they're not felt, they're a little ball on the end, but it's got like a little ink cartridge in it, and that's got 150 black in it, and that's basically tattoo ink. And then so we use that. But like the chances of you catching hepatitis by getting a tattoo in prison is like massive. It's massive. I've said it before. It sits somewhere around the 80% mark of percentage of people in prison that have hepatitis. That is crazy. And so, people have hepatitis A, hepatitis B. Basically, when you do the induction course at the MAP, they say don't touch anything steel. You have a look around you and you're like, all right, so you're telling us inside a steel prison that we can't touch anything steel. And it makes it quite scary that actually that many people have hepatitis. But I've seen that many people come to jail without hepatitis and leave with hepatitis from sharing tattoo needles. And it's literally out of people's minds when they do it. But the fact is, you can catch hepatitis or AIDS or any of them bloodborne viruses from a toothpaste, from the hair shavers. So I started this thing where we were allowed to have hand sanitizer, this is before COVID, with our hair clippers so we could sanitize them with the hand sanitizer every time we use them. Because like someone who doesn't use needles and someone who doesn't have hepatitis, like that's scary, man. And you got to take every precaution and like, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people in prison that use needles. A lot of my mates in prison use needles. And look, whatever blows your hair back, it's not my business. You know what I mean? But it's just not for me. And because of that, it's quite scary. And because of that, well, that was another reason why I made all my own tattoo needles, which are quite easy to make. I'm not going to go through making another tattoo gun, but that's just the inside of a pen with a straightened out paper clip. Now, I double over the paper clip, so I bend it over so it's like a U shape, and then I just shove it straight down the guts there. But I'll leave a tiny little lip on it sticking out like that, so that way it won't pull out. Mate, I'm telling you, up there for thinking, down there for dancing. Anyway, tattoos in jail. That's that. So yeah, I do have heaps of tattoos. I remember when I got my gang tattoo. I remember one day they told me I was going to another jail, and so I was like, yeah, all right, I'm going to another jail. Said see you to the boys and that, and so like I was pushing at, they told me I was going back to Barwon, and so anyway, I met Port Phillip, and at Port Phillip they give you these trolleys, and so they're like big trolleys, and you can put all. And I'd been in there for years at the time, and so like I'm walking back to the front reception to get checked out so I can go to the other prison and rah. And security grabbed me on the way. So like the TOG, they call them, Tactical Operations Group. And so they grabbed me and said, right, are you coming with us, Uri? And I said, like, fuck, I'm going to another jail. They're like, not anymore, you're not. And I was like, oh, fucking here we go. Anyway, so they take me down to reception and they're like, righto, mate, strip off, which is standard procedure for a urine test. And so when I stripped off, they get the camera out, the still camera and the video camera, and they started. I'm like, fuck off, mate. What are you doing? I'm covering up me willy, and I'm like, what are you doing, mate? Why are you video cameraing me? And they're like, where's your gang tattoo? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I've actually got, I can't show you, but on my foot, right, I've got the Southern Cross, like, yeah, Aussie Yaz, right? And I'm obsessed with anarchy stuff. So anyway, I've got the Southern Cross, but instead of the stars, I've got like 5 anarchy signs on my foot, right, in the shape of the Southern Cross. And so I don't have the circle around it, right? So it is just A's with a line through it, like the long line, right? But it's facing towards me so I can see the tattoo. So if you're standing that way and looking at my feet, they look like V's with lines through it. Oh my God, mate. So they are pinned with the cameras on my feet, which was kind of creepy. And they're like, wow, what are the victims' names? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, why have you got 5 V's on your names with lines through them? Are they how many victims you've killed? And started going on with all this bullshit. Oh my God. And I was laughing my head off. And like my gang sign's right there. And like, so they didn't even see it the whole time. And yeah, it was pretty funny. But what was more funny about that is like, someone had dobbed me in. So that same week that I got my gang tattoo, I tattooed about 5 of them on other people. And so, yeah, when they took me back to my unit, because I didn't get moved, they took me back to my cell, and then 2 security stood beside me while they were ramping my cell. And I was like, nah, you can't. And like, there may or may not have been something in there because I knew who was moving into that cell. And anyway, they found one of my old tattoo guns, and yeah, I got in a bit of strife for that. And yeah, so tattoos in jail is like something that you probably don't want to explore. Tattoos are very expensive on the outside, but like, listen, you will never ever, like, catching hepatitis C is the most you'll ever pay for a tattoo, I promise you. And like, that ain't what you want. You know what I mean? That's just not what you want. Yes, there's a cure for hepatitis C now, but that is besides the point, because that is the moronic way that these people think in jail now. You know, people share needles because they say, oh yeah, if you've got hepatitis C, I can get rid of it. And I always used to say to him, what if he's got AIDS? What if that dude you're sharing the needle with has AIDS? You don't know that. Oh, mate, they do my head in. But anyway, all right, guys, tattoos in jail, it's a no-no. Stay away from it. But, yeah, this is the Chaos Chronicles. We do talk about crazy stuff like this. And, yeah, if you haven't shot me a follow, jump up there, shoot me a follow. That would be absolutely awesome. We're on our way to 3,000 followers. We've done really well in the last week in the followers department. I'm really, really happy about that. The videos are going awesome. Everyone can notice that I bought a new camera and the mic and that. So, yeah, things are going really, really good. Next week, we're going to start our interviews with other prisoners and other ex-crims from around the world. And, yeah, we're really going to start popping off here. So, yeah, this has been the Chaos Chronicles. Like I said, if you haven't shot me a follow, jump up there, shoot me a follow. And, yeah, smash that bell so you never miss any of my clips. And I will see you awesome people in the next video. Ciao. We out.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?